Hey there, and thank you so much for watching. This is the Side Hustle Saturday edition for Saturday, March 30th. It's actually Friday, March 29th, and I'm pre-filming this because on Saturday morning I will be at a rehearsal for a presentation we're doing of Mozart's Requiem. So I'm super excited, playing viola in this string ensemble, and it is glorious. Oh my goodness, it is so much fun because we have a lot of pros coming in from the city to play with us, and they're just unbelievable. So it's such a privilege to be able to play with them, and I look forward to this presentation every year. I do it with a church in our county, and they're an amazing group, and they're just world class, and it's awesome to be able to do the Requiem, which is an amazing sort of sweeping grand piece, and it's just so neat to be able to play it. So that said, I'm pre-filming this because I will be at that rehearsal on Saturday morning. That said, moving on, for this edition, I kind of want to talk a little bit about what's coming up next, what I hope will come up next for the year. So March is drawing to a close. So that means the first quarter is closing out, and we've got 3 more quarters to go. And I'm kind of taking stock of what I've been doing so far, figuring out what works, what hasn't worked, and where I'm hoping to go for the rest of the year based on my goals and what I feel like is plausible and possible for the 3 more quarters, whatever, 9 more months that are remaining in the year. So the first quarter I did focus primarily on my eBay biz. I have 3 side hustles that I do primarily. In addition to teaching music lessons, I have an eBay store. I have a website that I haven't monetized yet, but I'm working on, and I also do YouTube, which I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to monetize and use to pay off debt. I love when people show how much extra income they're earning from YouTube to put toward their debt, and that is ultimately my eventual goal. So the reason I put all my energy into YouTube for the first quarter of the year, into eBay, was because eBay was the only thing that was reliably bringing in income. It was giving me revenue daily that like cash in hand, like cash to my PayPal account that I could cash out at the end of the month and use to pay toward debt. So that's why I put all my energy there. I made some pretty decent progress. I got my business incorporated, so I was able to make a bulk buy with the intention of streamlining it and creating processes that would be repeatable, steady, stable, and solid to generate revenue rather than just using the profits to pay off debt. I chose to reinvest in my business. So that was my strategy for eBay, and so far it's been working well, but it's a long game. Like, it's a long-term game, and I knew that when I made the decision to invest in that bulk buy. I took $300 of my profit from February, and I invested that into that buy in March, and it's slow going. This is the awful thing. I have everything photographed and sort of recorded. I just need to list it, which I have maybe 60 more items to create drafts for and list. I've just been I don't want to say super lazy, but I just haven't prioritized that as highly as I probably ought to have done. There were some other things that came up. My day job was a huge thing, and making sure that my income there was stable and that I was giving it my full attention. So that was prioritized in front of my eBay business. So all that said, looking at March, I'm like, okay, I made these updates and investments into my eBay biz. So moving forward, that's where we are with that. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's on autopilot, but I've done a lot of heavy lifting that in theory should allow that business to run a little bit smoother. So going into the next 3 quarters, what's the plan? What's going on? So I would love my dream goal for this year in regard to YouTube is to be monetized. That's something I would love to be able to do, and to turn that into a revenue stream, which really means serving you. You are the person that I am aiming to serve with this channel, to create things that you want to watch and that are helpful to you and that you just enjoy. Because I would say maybe, I want to say 60 to 70% of all the YouTube videos I watch are just to be amused and to like escape, for sure. So I'm hoping that I can provide that, because that's what I come to YouTube for mostly. And then like the other 30% I would say is like a how-to to keep myself accountable. But like those how-to things, like you get tired of them after a while. You're like, all right, great, you're doing a great job, or you learn how to do that. Sometimes you just want to see someone's real life. So that's what I'm hoping to be able to provide. So that's number 1. Number 2 is this blog that I have going. So I do have a website. I bought that back in November. And I have published one entry on there so far, but I have not been very consistent in uploading them just because I haven't gotten into a schedule. And this is something that I know how to do it, and I know the amount of energy, and it's a lot of energy and a lot of work, but I know that I can do it. And I know that if I just apply myself and sort of put myself in the right direction, I'm able to do it because I've done it before. It's something that takes an amount of bandwidth and an amount of like, say, mental cognitive ability, cognitive space. I need to prioritize that in front of other things. So, and it's like you have a platter, right? And you can only fit so many things. You got family, friends, obligations to your community, your day job, your what have you, extracurriculars that you do. And in my life, the way in a life that I love, I really only have room to put a lot of energy into one of these side hustles. So my goal for the next, I would say next 3 months, is to put YouTube, that's my plan, in front, to prioritize that above the other side hustles. So that's my goal. And along with that, like I'm saying, the blog as well, because see, that's the one that I know is kind of the most natural for me, but I know that it's going to take the most work because I have always been a writer. And I hate to say it, like, some people say, like, oh, I've always loved writing. I don't love writing. Like, I don't love the process of writing. It's like drawing blood from a vein by yourself, drawing your own blood. But I love the process of having written, and I love expressing myself through writing. I should say that. I love expressing myself via writing because I like to be able to think about what I want to say and be able to say it the way that I want it to be said. So that's something that I do enjoy. So I enjoy expressing myself via the written word. And I know that it's so powerful. And I know people like Michelle Schroeder Gardner and her Making Sense of Sense, and she's done an amazing job there. And who wouldn't want to replicate that type of success? But we all know it takes a lot of work to get there. So that said, I am going to put more energy into YouTube and my website for the next 3 months ahead of eBay. So, and eBay's still there and it's still running, and still going to be aiming to list and to keep up my listing goals every week or so. So it's still running. It's just not going to be first in line. And I still hope to do videos on that because I know people like it and people have really responded well, and I feel like that's been of service, so I want to continue to do that. It's just going to be a little bit lower down on the priority list. So looking at my goals for March and what I set out to accomplish, I set out to list 300 items. That did not happen. I think I got to, so I did 123 last month, and I think I will have gotten to 160 if I list everything by the end of the month. So I came in a little bit under half. And I just have to be real with myself and my capacity. That's it. And I tend to set these huge, lofty goals and then beat myself up when I can't accomplish them. And I know when I set them that they're ambitious, and I'm like, oh, well, I can do things like that. And I think part of being successful in running your business is being realistic, having those high goals, but also realizing, setting up processes to help you hit those goals and to be real with yourself in what you can prioritize and what you can't. Fit on your plate. So that is where I'm looking for the next 3 months in terms of priorities. The other thing I wanted to talk about, so it was how my priorities are shifting, how I did, where I'm headed, and how to make it happen. So I was chatting with another YouTuber friend, hey Mary, who's just amazing, and her channel's just experienced some tremendous growth because she's really put a lot of work into it, and it's taking off. And I hope that just keeps on going for her. And she was talking about like maybe wanting to go full time. And I'm like, I totally think that she should. Here's the thing though, like I was thinking about the same thing, like what would that look like? And how do you get there? And that's a challenge for everyone. How do you get to where you want to be from where you are, right? That's sort of the universal challenge. And this is my hypothesis. This is my theory. This is what I think and how it's worked for me in the past, how I've gotten anywhere I wanted to go from where I was. I've always had a vision first of where I want to go and what I want it to look like, what I want it to feel like, how I'll feel when I get there. And it's been so close that I can, like it's almost like it's already happened and I'm just walking in the steps to get there. So there were a couple different examples of this, and I keep coming back to them. One was when I was applying to colleges. I didn't know what it would look like, and had I known when I was applying, I would have like freaked out and been like, no way, like I'm not doing that. But once I was in this situation, I was like, this is the best thing ever, and I couldn't imagine anything better than this situation here. So that's one thing. The other thing was when I worked abroad. Had I known a year ago that I would be working abroad, I would have said, no way, that's terrible, I wouldn't want to do that. But in the situation, it was the best thing that possibly could have happened. So I'm going to use that for the business, only put it in a different spin and say, I have this vision for what I want my business and my income to look like. And I know that it starts on the inside first. I know that it starts with rewiring your internal dialogue and your internal voice, and for me, internal scripting, what you're saying to yourself, what I'm saying to myself every day about who I am and how I work, and what I'm capable of receiving in my life, because that's a big thing for me, receiving, because I tend to be a little bit of a control freak. I tend to want to control everything around me with the idea, with good intention. Like I want to make everyone safe, and I want things to be safe and to be good. But sometimes I feel like I hold on to things so tightly that I can't open my hands in order to receive new things. So that's kind of where I am. And how that relates to business is I feel like sometimes I hold on so tightly to my ways of thinking and controlling that I'm either afraid or unwilling to open my hands and my mind to new ways of thinking. So new ways of using my time and being more disciplined. So I know that those two things are essential. There's that rewiring of my internal script and a willingness to try new scripts. And then there's also my discipline and my commitment. And these are two things that are going to be critical going into the year ahead. Because I would say so far, my biggest win is definitely getting incorporated, getting the business registration certificate and getting that all filed away. That was a big win. I would say where I probably fell down a bit was in the discipline part. I mean, for sure, in the discipline part. I could have been like 10 times more disciplined with my time. And that's also something I would love to sort of make more videos in time management, because don't we all want to be better at that? So that's where I am for right now. Looking ahead is really how I'm going to be paying more attention to my thought process around my business, because I've been listening also to Drive Time with Dave, and I will leave links to Mary and Dave's channel as well, because he's someone pretty amazing, and I kind of came to him via Casey Parrish, Rockstar Flipper, who I'm not like the biggest follower of, but he's got some great ideas, and it seems like what Dave is doing is working, and I'm really interested in his thought process. So the whole thought process of a 6-7 figure business owner is fascinating to me. So I really am going to be sort of looking into that and trying to incorporate and integrate that more over the coming months. And I am looking forward to sharing more of my story, my journey on that road. Because ultimately, I would love to be the owner of a business that generates 7 figures, 6 figures in profit. That would be just amazing for me. 6 figures in profit, like come on, who wouldn't take that? And to have that sort of, I don't say passive income, but to be at that level. And I know it's going to take time, and it takes investment, and it takes discipline, and it takes just hard work. So that's something that I'm learning, as well. Hard work, sacrifice, discipline, diligence, all these things. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's where I am. That's this small business Saturday, small business side hustle Saturday for today. I'd love to know your thoughts in general and what you would want to see more of. I'll see how this lands, and I'm looking forward to the month ahead. That's kind of my goal, is to be doing a video a day for the month of April. We'll see where that goes and how that unfolds as well. So thank you so much if you've made it this far. I appreciate you watching this far. I look forward to learning more about the inner workings and the mindset of a 7-figure business owner, as I explore that, and as I explore sort of what it will take to get to that level. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you'll keep watching.